Alfred Lord Tennyson was born August 6, 1809 and died October 6, 1892. Tennyson was born in Salisbury, Lincolnshire, and was the fourth of 12 children. He also has a noble and royal ancestry. He was the poet laureate of the United Kingdom during much of Queen Victoria's reign and remains one of the most popular poets in English language. He wrote many famous phrases like nature and red and tooth claw, tastes better to have loved than not to have loved at all, and other things like that.
Ulysses. It little profits that an idle king, by this still earth, among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I met in dole, unequal laws unto a savage race, that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone, on shore, and when through scudding drifts the rainy Hades vexed the dim sea. I am become a name, for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored of them all, and drunk delight of battle with my peers. Far on the ringing plains of windy Troy, I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experience is an arch wherethrough gleams that untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move.
How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rest unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life. Life piled on life were all too little and of one to me. Little remains, but every hour is saved. From that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things and violet were, for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself. And this gray spirit yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost bound of human thought. This is my son, mine own Telemachus, to whom I leave the scepter of the isle, well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties, descent not to fail in offices of tenderness, and pay meet adoration to my household gods. When I am gone, he works his work, I mine.
There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail, there gleam the dark, broad seas, my mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine and opposed, free hearts, free foreheads, you and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil, death closes all, but something ere the end, some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks, the long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world.
Push off, and sitting well in order smite the sounding furrows, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong and will strive to seek, to find, and not to yield.
The speaker of this poem is Ulysses, and that's the name of the poem. And he is the king of Ithaca, and if you recognize that, it's from the Odyssey, and Ulysses is actually the Roman name for Odysseus. So that is who is speaking, and he is talking to himself. He's saying, oh, woe is me, I want to go out and travel more and whatnot. The situation is that he is bored being in one place and wants to go out and adventure like he did when he's younger, because it said he's, to be an idle king. He's bored with this life that he is leading. And so the setting is in ancient Greece, in Ithaca, as I already told you. And Yes?
Ulysses, basically, he did his whole journey to come back home, but then he's really bored with his dull life at home, so then he's trying to talk to other people. He could be talking to other people, trying to convince them to go with him back on a journey and back on a fun adventure instead of being king of this boring country.
The words highlighted in blue represent the diction that Tennyson decided to use to show how he felt about his life currently not doing anything. So he uses words like barren crags, aged wife, disgraced spirit. So those words are boring and idle, and they represent his boring and idle life.
The red represents the passion and the purpose that he wants from the people, and we need to give him the respect he deserves.
The sentences in this poem can be rather long, sometimes up to 7 lines long. Also, there's use of exclamation marks, about 2, which is unusual for poems.
The tone of this poem is one of yearning and desire. He says he has a hungry heart, and his spirit is yearning and desire, and free hearts, free foreheads. So basically the whole poem, he's striving.
To put it simply, the structure of this poem is much like a Pokeball. The beginning is very dull and solitaire, while Ulysses is mainly talking to himself. But the split happens after he says, "This is my son, my own Telemachus." Well, he is now talking to an audience of people, and now the poem becomes very passionate and fiery because he is talking about all the things that he wants to do adventure-wise, like the bottom of a Pokeball, which is red, as you can see here. The imagery in this poem creates a very epic feeling with words such as the vexed dim sea or the broad seas, and they also have beyond the sunset, or things such as moved earth and heaven, newer world, the slow moon climbs, and words like sinking star. These hyperboles are also one of the ways it is like romanticism. Lord Tennyson uses literary techniques such as personification and hyperbole to make an extreme point. The use of alliteration and repetition throughout the poem enhances Ulysses' feelings of having a dull and routine life instead of a changing, exciting one filled with adventure. There's really only one main symbol in this poem, and it is that Ulysses, who has enjoyed so many experiences as a sailor in traveled seas, that he considers himself a symbol for everyone who has wandered and roamed the earth in search of purpose and meaning.
Ulysses is the Roman name for Odyssey. Therefore, Ulysses alludes to the epic tale of the Odyssey, where Odysseus has arrived home, but now he's bored and has no more purpose to life.
This poem is free verse, non-rhyming, iambic pentameter. In the poem, he talks a lot about traveling and being with nature and around the sea. Also, he talks a lot about the past and how he wishes he could go back to the adventurous days. Also, he talks about these feelings of loneliness and idleness. It's also individualistic because he's a king and feels like he represents many people. And he talks about Achilles and the supernatural. Remember, the major theme of this poem is to never give up and to always strive, and it's never too late for some adventure and to be with nature and to live life. The end.